Porzingis is injured. The season is over. Let's talk about it, folks.
Last year he was at 77. Most of his numbers are much better than last year. Nice feet inside, and Porzingis
and here we see it,
throws
folks.
it down, and he's hurt.
KP.
Porzingis grabbing his left knee. And
Looks like he suffered an injury, bad injury.
Antetokounmpo came underneath KP when he dunked the ball.
That's a scary sight for Porzingis and the Knicks fans. And you can tell he's in some severe pain.
We can only hope.
Roger Hines
We can only hope this injury isn't too bad, folks. We can only hope it's not too bad. Till right now, we don't have any updates as far as I know. We have no updates as far as KP. I'm sure they're doing a MRI right now. We should have updates soon. Hopefully we get some updates tonight. But it didn't look good. If you watch, if you see his ankle twisted, but from what I can see, it looks like maybe when his ankle twisted, his knee twisted as well. So all we can do is see what happened and hope for the best. Hope that KP is strong enough to respond, if not this year, the next year. But hey, you never know. You never know. You know, someone like KP, he's tall, he's limber, he's flexible, he's young. Maybe it's not as bad as we think. We can all hope. That's what I hope for. Brian, you said your father's a doctor. He said it could be an ACL. I hope it's not an ACL. I seriously hope it's not an ACL. Yeah, A-Dub, it looked like the knee buckled. Even though we saw his ankle twist, it kind of looked like the knee buckled, right? You know, or because the ankle twisted, pushed the knee out. So, you know, we'll have to see what. All we can do is wait and hope. But without a doubt, we can be sure that if KP is done for the season is definitely over. I don't think there's I can't see anyone even arguing that the season wouldn't be over. I mean, the season, most people argue that the season is over now without KP being injured. Now, if KP is done for the season, and honestly, there's probably no reason that you continue to play KP now anyway. Honestly, we are 9 games below 500. And mathematically, we're in it, of course. But we're not in it. Mathematically, we're in it, but we're not in it. You know what I'm saying? And this just kind of puts the icing on the cake, and hopefully sends the message to Jeff Hornacek, Steve Mills, Scott Perry, that it's time to go strictly to the young guys. We knew that. We've been saying it. But you heard Jeff Hornacek. I'm sure you guys watched the game. And you heard Jeff Hornacek say, or I'm sorry, not Jeff Hornacek. You heard Mike Breen say that, you know, you heard what Jeff Hornacek said about guys, the culture, and guys having to earn their spots. And I agree with that 100%. I wholeheartedly agree with everything that Jeff Hornacek said there. And then you heard Mike Breen talking about you have to, you know, guys got to earn their spots. You can't just throw a guy out there just because he is deemed to be the future. And I agree with him. But it's that point. And he said, you know, there comes a point in the season, if you're out of the playoffs, that you play the young guys. It's that point. It's that point. In my opinion, it's that point. And we can try to trick ourselves, Steve Mills, Scott Perry, Jeff Hornacek, we can try to trick ourselves, or you guys can try to trick yourselves and say that we're still in it. But come on. Come on. And does it really take KP to get hurt for you to realize that we're not still in it? You know what I'm saying? We're not in it. We're not in it. And there's no doubt about it. You know, it's time to play the young guys. It is. And KP's injury just puts the icing on the cake. It lets you know, it really lets you know, this is it. This is the time. I will say this. It was a very good play. I like the way that KP slipped the screen. I like the way that Kyle O'Quinn found him off of the slip of the screen. It was a very nice play. Unfortunately, and it ended with a dunk over Giannis. Unfortunately, KP had to get hurt in the midst of that play. It's saddening, and I hate to see KP get hurt, man. I really do. I hate to see KB get hurt. I just hope that it's not serious. It's not really serious. You know, and we need to give him his time to rest. If it's not serious and they say he can come back this year, we need to give him his time to rest. Forget about saying we need him for this playoff push. His future is much more important. His future is much more important. I'm going to say it again. His future is much more important. And, you know, we can put it in terms of, you know, the team or the Knicks' future, but I'm more concerned with his future first. As any person that plays and they get an injury, I'm concerned with that person's future and then the team second. So for his future, it probably makes more sense to just let him rest out the rest of the season, or at least until it's definitely 100%. But if he twisted it, Brian, you said your dad looked like it could be an ACL. Yeah, or if it's even a, I don't know. But you know, if he can't go the rest of the season, we can't force him to go. He needs to rest. He needs to build strength around those knees. He needs to build strength around his ankles, you know, because he is a thin guy and he's limber. He is flexible, but he needs to build strength around it. You know, he needs to build the muscle around his knees because he's 7'3". And with the way that he moves on the floor, it's going to put pressure on his knees. With the way that, you know, his athleticism to be 7'3" is going to put pressure on his ankles. So, you know, he definitely needs to build muscle around those areas. Kenny Reese, you say there's no way to tell from the video. I agree. I think what people are looking at is the fact that you can see that he turned his ankle, but then he grabbed his knee. So what that says to me is that his ankle, because his ankle went one way, his knee didn't totally give, right? So his ankle twisted, and then it pushed his knee the opposite way out. That's what I see. That's what I'm assuming, because his ankle twisted, you know, and he grabbed his knee. So because his ankle twisted one way, I think it pushed his knee the other way. Or who knows? We can only wait until we get that MRI back to see exactly what happened. You know what I'm saying? But it's disheartening. The Garden was quiet. I'm surprised that afterwards, RK Walker, you say it looks like a hyperextension. Maybe. You know, we'll see. I honestly, and I have to stop myself as well. It's probably safe to just wait until we get the MRI, not speculate too much, you know, because we say something and put it out there and then all of a sudden people run with it. and it gets out there as a rumor that's not true. So, let's wait and see what happens. French Unicorn, peace, my brother. Thank you for the super chat. You give a shout out to Marty Nix, who's Mark, Ishmael Hernandez, Sincere the Genius. Now time for the true tank. Unleash Frank and Dotson. Fire Jeff now. Point well taken, my brother. Point well taken. Point well taken. All I can do is sigh, man. Really. That's all I can do is sigh. With the Knicks, we're always dealing with something, right? No matter what it is, we deal with something. We can't have just a normal season where we cruise through. Win or lose, we cruise through without the drama. Wouldn't be the Knicks, would it? It seemed as if we were having a nice, smooth season. Win or lose, seemed like we were having a decent season as far as drama is concerned. And then, Joakim Noah. I'm not blaming Joakim Noah, but then Joakim Noah has an issue with Jeff Hornacek. And then we get injury to Tim Hardaway. That happens in basketball, though. Now injury to KP. He was injured. He was injured earlier as well. Earlier in the season, he got injured, but he sprung back pretty strong from the injury. Maybe he started off a little bit slow when he came back, but what do you expect? Now we got to deal with this. The life of a Knicks fan. Does any other basketball franchise have to deal with the things that we deal with? I'm just wondering. I want to know. If there's anybody else on the line from any other basketball franchise, please tell me and let me know. Do you have to deal with the same things that we deal with as Knicks fans? Because we deal with a lot. We deal with a whole lot. And we manage it. We need forums like this and other forums just to release the stress. You know what I'm saying? We need this just to release the stress. And part of it is because the Knicks they're so beloved in New York. And it's not just New York City, across the state, man. Although across the state, you have people who like other teams or whatever, but for the most part, the Knicks are the team for the state. And they're so beloved. They're the heart of the city. It's the heart of New York. Madison Square Garden. It's in the heart of New York. And we love the team so much that it really pains us to see the Knicks suffer the way that we do. And I seen somebody say that we're cursed. I believe you. I believe we have a Patrick Ewing curse on us. If we would have hired Patrick Ewing at some point for an assistant coach or something, I believe the curse would have been erased. But we never did. So I think we're living with this Patrick Ewing curse, But the life of a Knicks fan, man, it's a hard life. I see a guy on Twitter, he has a podcast called It's a Hard Knicks Life. I think that's what it's called. And that's the perfect name. That's a beautiful name. Great name, because it is definitely a hard Knicks life. It is a hard Knicks life. We got to find ways to release the stress all the time. Because we're the New York Knicks, and we're New York Knicks fans, and this is what New York Knicks do on a regular basis. So let's talk about the game just a little bit. I know it's hard to talk about the game because of what happened during the game, of course. But we got to. This is what we do. We got to talk about the game. And we thought that Atlanta was the low point of the season. Well, obviously not. This is the low point of the season. has to be the low point of the season. Injuries. Of course, the injury to KP. Hardaway, whatever got kicked in the shin or whatever happened to Hardaway. Not like Hardaway was tearing up the floor, you know what I'm saying? But still, you know, that's another injury now we have to deal with, possibly. You know, I don't know. It was a bad game. And when you talk about a low point of the season, it has to be the low point. Wasn't sure we could get lower than what happened in losing to Atlanta at home, losing to the worst team in the league at home. Wasn't sure it could get lower than that, but we found a way to make it happen. As only the New York Knicks can do. So let's take a look at this game. We won the first quarter, 26-25, and we weren't looking bad. I thought, you know, we were gonna have a good game. I said, okay, you know, maybe we came to play. And I really wanted to. This was the game, as we spoke upon in the last show. This was the game we wanted to see. Did the Knicks have any fight, any desire left? And from the beginning, I thought we did. I thought we had some fight. I thought we had some desire from the beginning. And even after KP went down, we still fought. We took a 9-point lead after that. Took a 9-point lead after KP went down. And then slowly we lost the lead. Went into halftime down 4. Then came out and had a horrendous third quarter. No fight, no fire, no desire. And that really told us what we needed to know about this team, in my opinion. It told us what we needed to know. Yeah, exactly, Marty. They came out ready to play. They came out swinging. They came out saying, let's take this game right here, right now. And we came out and laid down. They took a 21-point lead. We had a 9-point lead at one time. That's a 30-point swing right there. 30-point swing. Since we had a 9-point lead, we let them outscore us by 30. Shouldn't happen. They shot 45% from the field, 30.8% from three, 77.8% from the free throw line. The Knicks, 41.6% field goal from the field. We shot 21.7% from three, 66.7% from the free throw line. We haven't been shooting free throws good lately. We out-rebound. We always out-rebound teams for the most part. But it doesn't always help us, obviously. 47 rebounds to 43. We had 20 assists, 5 steals, 6 blocks, 17 turnovers. We're back to turning the ball over again. Got to take care of that basketball. If we're going to turn the ball over, let the young guys turn the ball over. Milwaukee, 43 rebounds, 23 assists, 11 steals, 6 blocks, 14 turnovers. The only guy that really came to play tonight, you know, Dotson, he played well. He played okay. The only guy that really came to play is Cantor, man. Cantor came to ball. He always comes to ball, though. Got to give it to him. Cantor always comes to play. He puts his heart out there on the floor. So Cantor, 19 points, 16 rebounds, 1 assist, 4 turnovers, but I'll take it. His plus minus is a negative 25, but, you know, whatever. Courtney Lee shot 37.5% from the field. KP was hooping before he went out with his injury. You know, he's 4 for 5 from the field, had 10 points, 2 rebounds, 3 blocks. He was balling. He was hooping. Jared Jack, 17 minutes, 2 points, 3 assists. Frank played only 10 minutes. Minutes restriction for Frank tonight. 2 points, 2 assists, 1 for 3 from the field. You could hear in the first quarter, you could hear guys on the sideline yelling for Frank to be aggressive. Be aggressive, be aggressive. He's got to take it to heart. We need him to take it to heart. Doug McDermott didn't do much. Beasley was on an off night. Trey Burke, 22 minutes, 9 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. You know, I mean, he didn't play bad. He didn't play great. He just played a decent game. Damian Dotson, 14 minutes, 8 points, 3 rebounds, 3 for 6 from the field, 1 for 3 from 3. We need to see more Damian. We know, we say we got to see more of these young guys. Yeah, Tamika. Dotson got some shine. I'm glad that he got in. And I had just tweeted. I said, "Hey Jeff, Tim Hardaway's not playing well. Can Dotson get some burn?" And he was already putting him in the game. So I'm glad to see Damian Dotson get some burn, and hopefully he's a mainstay in the lineup. Let the guy play. You know, and then Billy, you know, gets in the last minute of the game. And hopefully, I don't know, I don't want to say hopefully, but Billy didn't get into the last minute of the game. He got in 2 points, 1 rebound. Unless there are trade negotiations going on and you don't want to play him, there's no other reason that he should not have played tonight. With KP out, Michael Beasley not playing well. Cantor obviously needed a break. He was in pain. He was beat up, holding his knee, mouth busted up. Hernan Gomez could have got some burn tonight. Kylo Quinn played 12 minutes. Didn't play all that great. His numbers have been going down as well. I don't know if it's because of trade negotiations or what. But for the most part, it's been silent on the trade front, so we don't know. You know, we don't know. But that's the wrap-up of the game. You know, low point of the season for sure. You know, Giannis, 23 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 turnovers. You know, these guys got athletes. Eric Bledsoe plays downhill. Like the way Eric Bledsoe plays. I did a video a while ago when Eric Bledsoe was, you know, when they exiled him from the team, about the Knicks trading for Eric Bledsoe, that he would have been a nice addition to this team if we didn't have to give up a young guy, of course. But, you know, that's water under the bridge. It's over. But there we go. That's the recap of the game. We, you know, this turns out to be one of the worst games of the season for sure. You know, yeah, it's a disappointing day. Mighty Knicks, shout out Mighty Knicks for the super chat. Big shout out to you. You say shout out to the brother French Unicorn Wells. Love the show. A lot of people with basketball knowledge. Coach Russell, our new head coach. Hey, you know, I probably do a better job than Jeff Hornacek, man. I'm sure I'd have my haters too, but I think I'd do a better job than Jeff. For real. Do a better job than him. But let's talk about Tim Hardaway Jr. What's going on with Tim Hardaway? Look at this. Let's take a look at Tim Hardaway's stats one more time. Tim Hardaway tonight had 8 points, 4 for 13 from the field, 30.8% shooting, 0 for 5 from the 3-point line. He had 5 rebounds and 4 assists, 1 turnover, 1 steal. But right now, Tim Hardaway is a head case. He can't. I'm convinced that everything with Tim Hardaway is mental. Everything with Tim Hardaway, I'm convinced, is mental. If Tim Hardaway has his head together, he has the ability, he has the body type, the body frame, the speed, the strength to excel in the NBA. He does. But he's a head case. Tim Hardaway cannot keep his head together. Uncle Phil, you say KP towards ACL is confirmed. Let's check this out. Let's see what's popping. We're going to get back to Tim Hardaway, but here we go. Yep. Right here. And the MRI confirmed that Kristaps Porzingis tore the ACL in his left knee, the Knicks say. Bad news. Sad news. That's painful news right now. That's painful news, man. Jeez. Got me quiet because, you know, KP, all we can hope is that he can come back next year stronger. Come back next year stronger. So there it is. Kristaps Porzingis has a tour. Has, again, from Ian Begley, an MRI confirmed that Kristaps Porzingis tore the ACL in his left knee. Yeah, that's bad. That's definitely bad. We clearly will not see Porzingis until next year. And it definitely, you see Knicks fans' reactions from Twitter. You know, people are yeah. You see the memes, you see the reactions from Twitter, and it's painful. It's painful for Knicks fans. It hurts. It hurts. Definitely hurts. You know, not much we can do. NBK folks, NBK family, all we can do is pray for KP. You see the reaction of Knicks fans on Twitter right here. If you're listening and not actually watching the stream, we're going through and just looking at a few reactions from people on Twitter at the news that KP has a torn ACL. And it's painful. It's painful. It's painful for everyone. So there we have it, folks. And the writing is on the wall for the season. It's definitely on the wall for the season. Yeah, Tamika, my heart just broke too. The writing is on the wall for the season, folks. Ladies and gentlemen. Scott Perry, Steve Mills, Jeff Hornacek. The season is done. You know it's done. The fans know it's done. Do the right thing. I understand you wanted to try to make the push to the playoffs. I did too. I wanted to make a push too. I wanted to be in the playoffs. I'm not a tank kind of guy. But now is the time. You lost your big gun. Your $71 million man is playing like he's worth 71 cents. It is time to play the young guys. Let the young guys ball. Put them in there. We got 28 games left. Let them play. This is how you do it. Let them play. You know what I'm saying? Let them play. It's time to take some calls. You guys ready to call in, man? It's time to take some calls. I want to hear from you. KP, man, we hope you get it together. Not get it together, but we hope you get better. You know, take care of that knee. I know you're probably hurting. We're all hurting. You know, we're all praying for you, big guy. You know, so, you know, if you want to call in, it's time to call in. You know, let's talk about where we go from here. What do we do next? I think we know what we do next. But where do we go from here? All right, so we're going to talk about it a little bit. I got Kenny Reese on the line. Kenny, give me 1 second. I'm going to get you over to the chat, bro. All right. Just give me 1 second, my man. But if you got, when you guys call in, talk a little bit about, of course, we're going to talk about KP, but let's talk a little bit about where we go from here. And here we go. So, my man, Kenny Reese, would you give a shout out to the chat for me, my brother? Hold on for 1 minute, Kenny. I'm not hearing you. I'm not sure if the chat can hear you, but I can't hear you. I can't hear you right now, Kenny. And I don't see you coming through the chat. I'm not sure if it's me or if it's you. Yeah, I'm not hearing you, bro. Hey, why don't you give a call back? I'm going to try somebody else because it could be me. All right, it could be me. But I don't see you coming through the desktop. And you know the thing is, I just hooked up a new mic. But let me try my man. We got Chicken Bark on the call. Let's see if his works. Chicken Bark, my man Chicken Bark, can you hear me? All right, looks like I got something going on, guys. Chicken Bark, can you hear me? All right, well, this is what we're going to do. We're going to put the calls on hold until I figure out what's going on. And we're going to continue talking about KP. We're going to continue talking about what's going on with KP, with the Knicks, with the injuries. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. So there we have it. We got an update on KP. So now let's talk. Let's go back. Let's talk about Tim Hardaway. What is going on with Tim Hardaway? Why is Tim Hardaway as I don't know. Why is he playing this way? Why is he playing this way? I'm not sure. Let's try one more call, see if this works. Mark, can you hear me? Okay, Mark, I'm not sure. Yeah, you're not coming through. So I think there's something on my end, and I'm going to fix it. And then once I get it fixed, we're going to get back to the calls. All right. But in the meantime, we are going to continue talking about Tim Hardaway Jr. because Tim Hardaway Jr. right now, I mean, his head is just not there. You know what I'm saying? Everything about Tim Hardaway Jr. is mental, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? He, everything is mental, in my opinion. And you can see it on the court. On the court, Tim Hardaway is very, he's very emotional, right? He's very emotional. You can see that he gets, if he's not hitting, he's really upset. Of course, if he is hitting, then, he's excited. He's in the game. He's playing defensively. How can Tim Hardaway be that second guy if this is the way he is? If he's going to be that second guy on a really good team, Tim Hardaway's got to have his head together. His head has to be in the game if he's going to be that all the time. You see, he's not used to being that type of leader. Tim Hardaway's not used to that. And I'm not sure if Tim Hardaway, I don't know, this is just like J.R. Smith. No name, you say just like J.R. Smith. We've seen that with J.R. Smith. When J.R. Smith had his chance to be, the second leading scorer of the team or the second guy on the team, he couldn't do it. He couldn't handle the pressure. and right now, Tim Hardaway is not handling that same pressure. He's not handling that same pressure. And, we've got to, I don't know. I don't know if, I don't know if he's ever going to be the guy that can do it. You know what I'm saying? Tim Hardaway. We took a chance on him. For a part of the season, he was worth that chance. Right? He was worth that chance for a part of the season. But right now, I don't know. It just doesn't look like. Ace, you said we don't know if Timmy is 100%. I mean, if he wasn't 100%, then why'd he come back? He said he wasn't coming back unless he was 100%. You know what I'm saying? He said he wasn't coming back unless he was 100%. So, I don't know what to say to that. If you're not 100%, then don't come back. Unless if we're in the thick of a playoff race or something like that and you really need it, then you come back. But, if you're not 100%, take your time, come back when you're 100%. That's what he said he was going to do. And he came back when he played when he had some good games. Nobody really, there was no problem. No, I didn't hear anyone saying, well, he's having these good games and he's not even 100%. So, the way I see it is he's out there. I think he's healthy enough to play. We need him to play. We need Tim Hardaway to play well if we're going to if we are going to win games. We need Tim Hardaway to play well. And right now, I don't know. We're not sure if he's him. We're not sure if he's the guy. We're not sure. And when I'm saying that, listen, earlier in the season, obviously I wasn't sure if he was the guy. I said it. I talked about it. I didn't like the way his game was. I said he was just a 3-point guy that can kill in transition. And then he started going to the basket. And I was like, now, if Tim Hardaway does this, that's the kind of player we need him to be. But I never wavered from the mental part of the game with Tim Hardaway Jr. Then when he came back from injury, it took him a little while to get in, and then he started playing well. And now it's like the mental part of the game is creeping back in. And so my question is, if he's going to be your second guy, is he strong enough to be your second guy? That's my question. Is he strong enough to be your second guy mentally? I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. Because I see it so often that he, so often he, I don't know, just floats. His mind gets lost and he gets upset and he gets emotional. And when he gets that way, he can't find his rhythm. You say Tim Hardaway's not getting coached right. That could be. I'm not going to argue with you with that. That could be. You know what I'm saying? Maybe. But does that take away the mental aspect of the game? Does that take away? I mean, look at some of the things that he does. Look at some of the shots that he takes. When he's playing well, he takes good shots. When he's not playing well, it's like he tries to force himself to play well instead of sometimes letting the game come to him. He did that tonight. Just forced up some crazy shots that I'm like, why are you doing this? What are you doing, Tim Hardaway? Come on. And rarely, I don't know. I don't see it. I don't usually see Jeff Hornacek getting on him for taking them wild shots either. You know, it was just kind of like whatever, you know, maybe he'll take him out, you know, after being in there for so long. You know, maybe he'll take him out, but that's what Tim Hardaway does. He gets into, he has a low basketball IQ. We know that. He definitely does. You know, he's not a high basketball IQ player. He basically plays off of talent and ability. You know, he doesn't think the game much. And I guess that's probably the cause for it. He pouts when he's not playing well. Perfectly put. What's that? Soul Funk Bomb. Perfectly put. He pouts when he's not playing well. And it affects the rest of his game. And I just don't know if that's your second player, if that's your second best, supposed to be your second best player. Do you want a guy that pouts when he's not playing well, or do you want a guy that mans up? You know? Or do you want a guy that mans up? Hey, who's Mark? Try to call in again, bro. Try to call in. Let's see what's going on. Because I think I got the settings. You know, I put in a new mic or something like that and some other things, and maybe I messed up the settings a little bit. So try to call in, see if we can get this thing popping again. All right. But I hope Tim Hardaway Jr. can step up. I hope he can get his mind straight. Yep, he got a tech too. He got a tech as well. And that's just part of Tim Hardaway losing it. You know what I'm saying? That's part of Tim Hardaway losing focus. Losing focus. You know, and we got to have better from him. You know what I'm saying? We gotta have better from Tim Hardaway. You know, who's Mark? You could try to call back in, or Kenny Reese could try to call back in. All right, let's see if this is gonna work now. All right, think we got this back popping. Okay. We got Kenny Reese on the line.
Going on,
Can you
man?
give a big shout to the chat for me, please?
Shout out to the chat, man. Y'all already know.
Yes, sir.
One. It's a tough one today, man. It's a tough one, man. We knew the season was over, I think, with that Atlanta loss.
Right.
But it's just tough to lose KP. We don't know how he's going to recover from that, you know. Big guys and ACLs, you know, those injuries usually do a lot of damage.
Right. And, you know, well, we definitely know he's not coming back this year. So we know that for sure. You know what I'm saying? You know he's not going to be back this year. You know, next year, you figure what? It's now what? What's this, February? You figure, you know, it might be 9 months, something like that, till he's 100%. So now we're talking about, you know, November. You know what I mean? So, of course, you know, during this time, this is what I hope during this time. That of course, he's got to strengthen his leg. He's got to strengthen his knees. He's got to recover from the ACL. And hopefully he takes this time to strengthen his body as well. You know what I'm saying? Takes the time to strengthen the hold on for 1 minute. Looks like we've got another settings issue. Hopefully he takes the time to strengthen his you know, strengthen his body, strengthen the muscles around his knees, you know. And Kenny Reese, I think I gotta check these settings again, man. I don't know what's going on with the Skype today. I might have to call up Microsoft and let them know things ain't working right. You know, but that would be Kenny Reese. Let me get you to call back. All right, that would be the ideal thing that we would need from. All right, let's try this again. That would be the ideal thing that I think we would need at this point in time, is for KP to strengthen his body, strengthen the muscle around his knees. You know, probably, strengthen his back because we know he had some back issues as well. We've got to get him to strengthen those things so that he will come back stronger. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, he comes back with a stronger upper body, stronger lower body. I think KP is a hard worker. You know what I'm saying? I think that he has good work ethic. So I don't think that we're going to have an issue with KP going through recovery. That's just my opinion. I don't think we'll have an issue with that. I think that KP will definitely work hard to come back and come back stronger. And maybe this is a blessing in disguise. You never know. All right, let's try this again. All right. Who's Mark? Can you hear me? Okay, I got you, bro. All right, give a shout to the chat, my man.
Yo, what up, chat?
How you feeling today, Who's Mark?
Yeah, right now I'm on the Washington Bridge thinking about jumping off right now.
Now, we don't need that. We don't need that. You know what I'm saying? We need you to be here, bro.
Yo, what just happened? Yo, what just happened tonight?
I don't know, man. It's crazy, man. I don't know what happened tonight, bro. It's crazy.
I feel like I got shot like I'm JFK, bro.
Yeah, it's been it's a crazy night. Hey, Mark, can you turn that down in the back?
Yeah, I'm about to do it right now.
It's a crazy night, man. It's one of those New York Knicks nights.
Yeah, you know what's so crazy right now? I'm not even mad. I'm just smiling because it's like, yeah, us. It had to be us tonight.
Right.
It had to be us tonight. But you know what I'm thinking now?
What's up?
Now that I like when I watch the roster and when I watch them go against teams like this, this might happen. This what the Knicks need to do when they're going forward now. It's like we almost need to protect KP until he gets physically strong. So what I'm saying is, you get him a defensive big man behind him, and then you just fool this guy with a whole bunch of wings. Seriously, seriously, because people that can move their feet. Because Lance need to go, Courtney Lee need to go, Quinn need to go, Cantor need to go. Just after what tonight just happened, I'm just watching how bad the Knicks really, really are. Like they're really, really. They can't challenge these athletic wings. It's just.
So you think Cantor needs to go? You don't
like?
Yeah,
he need.
You don't like?
You know, no. I'm gonna tell you why he needs to go.
He's been a double machine.
No. I'm gonna tell you why he needs to go because he has a bad back problem. I can see it through the game.
You're right about that.
He has a really bad.
Problem.
And when I heard Chris Bosh say it, that's something you do not want to happen to you, especially a player like him because he's always in the paint. I'll keep everybody for now till 2019. But when 2019 comes, you try to find all the athletes you can find possibly.
We need athletes.
And on top of this, let's tank so hard so we can get into that top 5 pick. Because I want this kid out of Arizona, this Ayton kid, because he will be perfect behind KP because this man is like Embiid times 10.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what management is gonna do. Now, management has been they've been kind of quiet on the trade front. Right?
Time out.
They've been
what
real
am
quiet.
I hearing with this Orlando Bismack Biyombo and Elfrid Payton? Why are they even looking that way?
I don't know. Like, where'd you hear that from? Who'd you hear that from?
I just seen this on my Instagram on Knicks News Now. He be on it. And now they saying it was a breaking news. They saying the management is looking at those two.
Yeah, that ain't nobody we want. That's nobody we want. That's
Elfrid Payton needs to get out the league. He cannot shoot.
That's garbage.
He's not good. He's not good.
If they're looking at that, that's garbage. So and maybe that's just something
that's what pissed me off.
Floated out there.
That's what kind of pissed me off a little bit. It's either Ayton or it's either.
Okay, so yeah, I see what you're saying. So Knicks Film School, I'm looking on Twitter right now. And Knicks film schools are pretty good. You guys probably seen their videos. I put their videos on my videos a couple of times. Lost Everything Tonight is a report. Lost in Everything Tonight is this report about the Knicks discussing a deal that could find Eldred Payton in New York with Bismack Biyombo and Joakim Noah trading places. Bad contract for bad contract.
Oh, if that's the case, yeah,
Okay.
I'll do that for Bismack for Noah just because he's usable.
So if that is now, there you go. If it has to deal with Noah,
yeah,
then
I'll
that's
take that. Yeah, I will take that.
We could do that.
Fast. Hurry up.
That's decent. If it's going to be Joakim Noah leaving and we're getting some usable parts.
Yeah, because I know what that coach is going to do. That coach is going to use Noah at the high post because Orlando has wings and cutters. And that's what Noah is great doing is that high post. When he's healthy, that high post, he's a point guard on the floor. That's one thing why I'm kind of mad why he couldn't play, because he would be great at the high post with Porzingis. But
he would. He would
be great, because people got to understand something. Joakim Noah, in his prime, he was a top 5 MVP, and he carried that Bulls when D Rose was out. That team was going through Noah through the whole time.
Through the whole time. He was the point guard. He was the point guard on the floor.
He was the offense. People forget about Noah. Noah was a beast.
That's the whole reason. That's the whole reason that.
That's why I didn't want to give up on Noah, but it looked bad. It just looked bad.
But that's the whole reason that Phil Jackson brought Noah to New York, is because the way that he was able to, you could run the offense through him. That's the whole reason that they brought Noah to New York, because you could run the offense through him. And he knew how to run a triangle, because believe it or not, they ran the triangle in Chicago.
Splendid. Is that?
Yep.
No, and one thing about him, why I liked him, because he held people accountable, and his intensity was just, he was fun to watch. Even though he didn't score, he was fun to watch when he played. There's one more thing.
So looking at this, if we did this trade, Bismack Biyombo, he makes $17 million a year.
I'll take it.
This year, next year, and in 1920. And then Elfrid Payton, he makes $3 million this year, $4 million next year on a qualifying offer. So it wouldn't be bad.
You know what? I would take Elfrid Payton. I would take him out because he's really good defensively. I ain't gonna hold you up.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take him and get rid of Jared Jack. Yeah, I would do this trade. Yes, I would. Now that you broke it down and I'm looking at it now, and I think about it, I'll take it.
Yep.
I'll take it. Because what everybody got to understand something. People don't want to pay KP, but y'all got to understand something. When y'all have something of this stature of a player, and you get rid of him, and then he just goes out somewhere else and just flourish, do you know how bad it would look on the Knicks to not take time and just believe in it? The problem with Knicks fans, and it really bothers me, it really, I wish I could just have the voice of New York loudly and proudly and just say, just wait, because KP ain't soft. He wants it. He wants to get better, but it's his deficiencies is not allowing him to be great. But you have to give him time to develop.
Yeah.
It took AD 4 years to even develop a body to become AD. He couldn't stay healthy. But you don't get rid of players like that. You don't, because they don't come out like that. They don't. And if that's the case, Knicks think about trading Porzingis. Who are we gonna get back? I want anybody to understand. Who are we gonna get back?
I don't think the Knicks think about trading KP. I don't think so. I want
people to understand. Who are we gonna get back?
Yeah, I don't know who we would get back. I mean, I think if they traded KP, they'd be looking to get
we ain't getting nothing back
picks,
equal to that.
You know, I don't think they're looking about, or I don't think they're looking to or thinking
No,
about.
but it. Listen, what happened tonight? That shit would make people think, man. And I'm not even mad. I'm kind of happy for KP that let him get injured so he can get bigger and work harder.
And that's what he has to do.
Yeah.
That's what he has to do. Yeah. He needs to
I'm not mad at it. But, and another thing too I'm watching, they don't want to play for Jeff because they don't know what they're doing on offense.
Yeah.
They don't know what to do. They don't.
We've had a player throw the ball out of bounds the last 3 games.
Son, they don't know what they're doing.
Throw the ball out of bounds. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely crazy right now. They look lost on the floor.
They looking like what Cleveland looked tonight, which I was happy with Cleveland that they asked with tonight. That felt good because I don't fuck with Braun. I've been a Braun hater since 06.
Watch your language.
Oh, my bad.
But
I've been a hater since 06. And I take pride.
Yeah, they're running up and down the floor, doing nothing. Sometimes they're just playing playground schoolball,
it's to a point.
It's crazy.
It's like they stay on the perimeter. Like the offense is just on the perimeter.
Yep. And you know what hurts so much is the play that KP got hurt on. That was a really nice play.
And Giannis. It
was a really nice play.
He had to. He should have never. Sometimes I hate that play because it's scary to players because when the momentum. It was the momentum from Giannis.
Yeah. It was the momentum.
It was him, son.
He didn't do anything on purpose, but it was the momentum. Yeah, that's a tough play.
It was the momentum, and Giannis, he ain't like a big, but he is like he's fit. Like his body's like a rock.
Yeah.
When you look at him, he's solid.
But hey, Mark, we got some other people calling in, man.
All right, man.
I gotta apologize to the chat. It took me a while to, I had to get the settings right. Wasn't Skype, so I don't want to mess with Skype because they might give me a sponsorship or something. I don't want to diss them. So sorry, Skype, in case you hear this.
It's all good, man. We here with you. God damn. Chat, just pray for Porzingis because listen, man, if y'all thinking about trading this kid is a stud, and just wait till he get a perfect offense and surround him with players that fit his deficiencies. It's just like with Dirk. You just put players that fit his deficiencies. Every player has deficiencies.
Yeah.
He's not gonna be as great as he looks when he's on the floor with shooters. Like these players need help. Porzingis need help. It's just like it kills me because like if Carmelo asks for help, he would get killed. But when LeBron asks for help, it's like, oh, he needs help. He needs help.
Right.
But when other players ask for help, they can't get it. Just give Porzingis time because I see it. I see it every night. You don't get a player that plays defense. When I seen how he played Giannis, he plays Giannis well. Giannis just don't do what he was doing tonight. Porzingis, he wants to play against these players. When I watch him, he likes going against his temporaries. He goes against them. But sometimes it's his team. It's his team when you watch it.
I hear you.
But man, good night, man.
Yeah, man. Take it easy, bro. All right,
we're
gonna get some other calls in here. Thanks for calling in, brother. We'll talk. We'll be able to get up on Thursday. Maybe something happens before Thursday. So
listen, man. If we get rid of Lance Thomas and all these other guys, man, just end the season. Tank as hard as possible. I want a top 5 pick for Ayton because he is huge.
Yeah.
All right, man. Good night, man.
Good night, bro. Take it easy. Yes, people. So there we go. Isaiah Brunson, what's poppin', my man? Hold on 1 second. Isaiah, what's poppin', bro?
Nothing much, man. I just left the gym. I had to work out after this one. This was crazy. Hold on, I'm about to park real quick.
While you're doing that, I am going to I'm gonna go over this. I'm gonna talk a little bit about this trade possibility. All right, so I'm looking at right now the New York Post. All right, looking at the New York Post, and it says the Knicks GM is interested in trading for Magic point guard. Scott Perry actually drafted Elgin Payton. Okay. According to an NBA source who has spoken to the Knicks brass, Perry has interest in reuniting with 23-year-old Payton at the trade deadline, feeling he can get him at a discount and keep his rookie point guard, Frank, out of the deal. The Magic's new GM, John Hammond, is looking to move on from Payton, who will become a restricted free agent this summer because of his rookie contract. Payton has shown improvements this season, 13.2 points, 6.2 assists, and 4 rebounds, 51.8%. He's shooting 51.8%, and he shoots 37% from 3. Now, we all know of Elgin Payton as someone who can't shoot. Looks like he's made some improvements in that regard. So I wonder why Orlando wants to trade him. and what they're looking for. Perry's interest stems from the organization believing it needs to be more athletic, to get more athletic, with Payton the type of quick penetrator who can open up the game for Porzingis. Well, it's not going to happen this year. Who left Tuesday night's game against the Bucks with a left knee injury. We know that. We know KP has a torn ACL. Ntilikina, 19, has yet to show that knack as a rookie. According to the source, Perry still believes in the 6'4" Payton as a potentially solid defender, though advanced metrics show he's subpar. So, the Knicks and Magic have engaged in preliminary talks about Payton in a larger deal. The teams have discussed adding both Orlando shot blocker Bismack Biyombo and exiled Knicks big man Joakim Noah. Both centers are on similarly egregious contracts, but the Knicks gain in that exchange. Biyombo is 25, but has potentially one less year than Noah on his contract with an opt-out for the 2018-19 season. Noah's contract expires in 2020. Now, my question is this, and what I'm not seeing in this article is if you have a Eldred Payton and Biyombo and then Noah going to Orlando, what's Orlando getting? I didn't see in here what Orlando's going to get in this trade. Now, Scott Perry believes that he can bring in Eldred Payton without giving up Frank. So I want to know then what's Orlando getting in that trade? You know, where's Orlando's benefit? Because I don't see it anywhere. So I guess we'll have to see what that's about and who. I don't know. I don't see what it's about. Maybe they're going to give us some second round picks or something like that. Hopefully they're not going to give up a first. I doubt it. So, you know, we'll see where that comes into play. We'll see what happens there. All right. Isaiah, what's popping, man? For sure. I got to give you that. It definitely is, man. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. It's a tough night. Uh-huh.
Like we talked
My,
about developing the youth, which I was really excited about, and we never did. In
mm-hmm.
my opinion, I don't think we did because like even tonight, I understand the minute restrictions with Frank, and it just kills me because it's like you play Willie 2 minutes, not even 2 minutes. You play Dotson, which is good, but it's like I don't understand. It's like we keep doing the same thing. It's just repeating itself, and it's like I don't see it, and it's like I don't know, man. This season has been a big mystery to me, man. It's just been a big mystery.
Yeah. Well, you know, it has been a mystery. I don't think it's going to be a mystery anymore. I think we're going to get some things cleaned up now. Now that KP is gone, I think that Scott Perry and Steve Mills will probably have a clear direction going into the rest of these days heading into the trade deadline. We only got a day and a half left. Trade deadline ends at 3 p.m. on Thursday. So we have, you know, all night tonight, tomorrow, and then, you know, a couple of days, you know what I mean, a couple of hours on Thursday. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
So then, you know, it's going to be, I think now they have a clearer direction. KP's injury probably makes their job a little bit easier. They probably have a better understanding of what to do because now, You know, when you look at it and say, you know, when KP was out earlier, we didn't win.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We didn't play well. We didn't win. Now he's out for the season. We got less than 30 games left. We're down. We're 9 games below 500. Just to make it to 500, we've got to go, like, you know. I mean,
well, we could just stop talking. We could stop talking about that.
We're not going to make it to 500. So,
yeah,
you know, the season, making the playoffs is done. So I think this probably gives Steve Mills and Scott Perry a clearer direction as far as where to go when it comes to the trade deadline.
Exactly.
You know? Because like, now it's just time to play the youth. It's just time to play the young guys. They got to know it. They got to know it now. It's time to play the young guys.
Yeah, they. I feel like they've been around. They all been around the rodeo. They know what's about to happen. I really hope because they need to really rest Cantor. He deserves it. He's been playing real New York Knicks basketball, playing with his heart out, broken back. He deserves a rest. He doesn't need to play no more. Jared Jack, we all know that. That's a broken record. Courtney Lee. We need to play Dotson, Willie, and Frank. That's all. I mean, to me, that's all I really care about now. You know, and then just securing draft position, man. That's all that really matters now is just developing them and getting the draft position. Hopefully now that we're definitely gonna play subpar now. I mean, they can try, but they're gonna play subpar. I hope we land in the top 5. I'm really hoping we can get the international kid or Michael Porter Jr. I hope we can get one of them. Because I feel like I hear everybody talking about they want athletic big, but I actually like Cantor. I think he's good. I'd rather go with a small 4. I feel like we need to address the small 4 position because right now between Doug McDermott and Michael Beasley is just not producing for us. So I definitely would like to go with a small forward for the draft, and I like either Luke or I forgot his name, Don, or Michael Porter Jr. I think those would be the perfect fit for us, and I don't know, man. It's just right now. It's just crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy, and I know there's a lot of people that say we need an athletic big. I think we need a defensive big, whether he's athletic or not. We need a defensive big, but we do need athletes. But I agree with you. We definitely need a 3-man that is an athlete. An athletic 3-man that can play defense, that can shoot the 3, that can, an all-around guy. That's, in my opinion, that's what a 3-man should be. A 3-man should be an all-around guy. A guy that you can depend on to handle the ball when you need them to handle the ball, to shoot the 3, can go to the basket, can grab some rebounds, get some assists. A 3-man to me is an all-around guy. That's why it's the most popular player, the most popular position in the NBA, or at least one of the most popular positions in the NBA. So many of your best players are 3s because you've got to be an all-around player. You're definitely either a 1 or a 3. Those are the prime positions right now. So I definitely think we need to get an athletic 3, and I think that we do need a defensive center though. Because right now, from that 3s, we got one shot blocker on the team. One guy that can block shots. That's KP. Now he's going for the rest of the season. But looking in the next season, you got one shot blocker on the team. You know what I'm saying? And when KP's not on the floor, guys can go to the basket anytime they want. And because KP is usually guarding guys on the perimeter, stretch floors and things, he's got to rotate a lot of times from the other side of the floor. That's another area where he's, constantly going to be putting his body in danger because he's got a lot of ground to make up to rotate from sometimes the 3-point line to try to cover down low and then fly in the air, try to get some blocks and, and so on. And, KP is thin. He's a little fragile right now. And hopefully this injury is a blessing in disguise for him.
Man, I'm praying for him, man. I'm definitely praying for him.
And of course, the fear going forward now is he's 22, so his body hopefully will respond to injury because he's young. And his muscles and his tendons and his ligaments should be able to regenerate well because he's young. And I'm sure he eats correctly. You know, he's been, you know, he's one of them guys like LeBron who was built to play basketball from the time he was young. He was grown and raised to be a basketball player. So I'm positive that his parents had him eating correctly. You know, he's been playing professional basketball since he was young.
Since he was
So
like 15.
you know, so his body should be strong. And I don't mean strong as far as muscles and strength is concerned, but just healthy. His body should be healthy. So he should be able to regenerate well, in my opinion.
Definitely.
But then of course we got to ask the question, is KP going to, is that knee going to constantly deal with injuries? Are we going to constantly deal with injuries surrounding that knee? That has to come into question, because we see it all the time. You've seen it with Derrick Rose. You've seen it with Amari Stoudemire. You know, that knee is always going to be a question now.
Yeah, because definitely, because I'm thinking, because now that you just said it, what is more crucial now, and just for the, because I love KP and I love, like, he's our best pick since Patrick Ewing, all that. But what Scott Perry and Steve Mills have to do in this contract, which we all wanted in the Amari contract, we have to get insurance. That has to be one of the number one parts of the like the Embiid contract. I think they have insurance on him during an Embiid contract that he got that big extension. So I know, I forgot how the way it works, but I remember, I think they did get insurance in case he does get injured again.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it sucks to have to do it, but for KP, we have to get insurance.
Well, you have to get insurance. You got to. You got to. You know what I'm saying? And I'm pretty sure that they will. With Amari, with Amari, they didn't get insurance on his back. It was really his back. It wasn't even his knee that didn't get insured. It was his back that didn't get insured.
Oh,
you know,
wow!
So, it was his back. It wasn't his knees. So, you know, I'm pretty sure that they'll get insurance on him. You know, and it's just tough, man. It's tough overall.
Yeah, man. We all wish him the best, because like that's our unicorn, man. We got it
for sure.
Also, before I go, I just wanted to say, you know, now we're going through this transition. You know, I thought would be dope for you to start doing now, kind of. We'll look at the draft prospects now. We start looking at, you know.
Yeah. We're gonna start looking.
I'm not telling you how to run your show, brother. Not telling you how to run your show. You know, I just want to put it in the suggestion box. You know, we start looking at the draft and start looking at the picks, and because we're at, you know, probably around March and April. Well, I know by April we'll know where we're at pretty much. In the standings. So you know,
right. Oh yeah, we're definitely gonna start looking at draft picks, and I'm gonna do a whole draft show.
Oh yes, definitely.
I plan on doing a whole draft show. I'm gonna be on on draft night. I plan on either, and I'm not sure. I'm either gonna be at the draft, in the stands at the draft or whatever, or I'll be doing it here and be checking it out. I'll see whatever happens. It's right in the middle of AAU season, so I got to see how it works out. But I'll be doing some kind of show during the draft, so for sure. But hey, man, I'm gonna I know some other people want to call in.
Yeah, I know everybody else wants to be. I know a lot of people want to talk. Blackest time, brother.
Yeah, all right. Appreciate it, bro. Have a good one.
You too, man.
Yes, sir, folks. And as we are talking about KP, that leads us right into the trade deadline, because it definitely changes any plans that we had going into the trade deadlines that revolved around making the playoffs. They're squashed now. They're done. They're gone. Kaput. Kapui. So now it really comes down to, how do we, at the trade deadline, how do we get rid of longer contracts if we can? And how do we bring back youth if we can, or draft picks? That's what it has to be. That's what it has to be at the trade deadline. Now, and to answer your question, I see Noah asked a question about the trade deadline. I really wanted to, but unfortunately, I have to. I'm working to try to help some programs. I'm working to try to help some programs get like a couple $1 million for their program. I'm trying to programs around the state, Head Start programs, and so I've got to be at a hearing on Thursday, and the hearing starts at 2:00, which means I may not get out in time. Well, it's no may about it. I'm not going to get out in time to do a deadline show. I really wanted to, but it's what I got to do for one of my clients. So that's where I got to be. Yeah, so I won't be able to do a deadline show. But Tony Crow, before I pull you in, we got Tony Crow here on the line. All right, before I pull you in, I just want to read this quick article about KP, then I'll pull you right in, all right?
No doubt.
All right. So, I just want to jump into this article real fast, folks, and see if this article tells us anything that we don't know about KP and his injury. The Knicks, it says the franchise is done for the year, and this article is by Mark Berman, the great Mark Berman from the New York Post. The franchise is done for the year. A garden night of horrors came to a sad end when the Knicks announcement confirmed late Tuesday night that first-time All-Star Kristaps Porzingis has a torn ACL in his left knee. The Knicks didn't announce a timetable, but he's done for the season. A look at torn ACLs in the NBA in recent years show timetables that range from 7 to 12 months, putting his availability for training camp next season in doubt as well. The injury occurred 12 days before Porzingis was supposed to make his first All-Star appearance in Los Angeles for Team LeBron. Okay, so there you go. Nothing new. No new news, really. Information that we already knew. So I'm gonna ask Tony. I'm getting ready to pull you in just a second, and I just want to know from you, man. How do you think this affects us at the trade deadline?
Well, I'm on now.
Yeah, you're on. You live. You're on.
Oh. Well, first off, it's new news to me because I seen him go down and I watched the game, but I caught on late, so I didn't hear any announcement. I heard y'all talking about it briefly. So yeah, it's still fresh for me. That's crazy. My immediate thoughts would probably be a fire sale. Like get what you can for the vets. and obviously we're not going to jeopardize anything, as far as like taking back bad contracts. So I mean, expirings and draft picks.
Yeah, I mean that's what it's got to be. That's what it's got to be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that and then playing the youth. Yep, everybody. I'm talking. You gotta bring up the D leaguers, the two-way contracts.
Two-way guys.
See what they got.
What they can do, maybe. Yeah.
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 I mean, that's
what I do not hope. Well, let me say, what I hope that does not happen is that Scott Perry, Steve Mills decide, because I'm sure they've gotten tons of offers. I hope that they don't decide that we need to try to make a move for a player to try to put us in the playoffs, because it's not going to happen. So hopefully
after tonight,
but
after tonight,
hopefully they don't think that they can find someone that replaces KP. Hopefully they don't think that way. I don't think that they think that way. I think that they see it clearly and understand what's happening.
The only way that would even be possible, it would have to be the type of player that you would consider trading KP for.
Right. That'd be a transformational guy. Yeah.
So yeah, that's not gonna happen. even the few characters we were talking about in the past, like Kemba, without a KP is senseless. So yeah, that's got to be out the window. Scott Perry is too smart for that. I wouldn't even.
It should be out the window.
I wouldn't even worry about that. This is not the old Knicks.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wouldn't worry about that. I got a question for you. I know I heard you just talking to the last dude, about the draft and doing a draft blog or whatever. Have you had any thoughts about who you like? Right now,
haven't even really studied it right now, but I'm about, I'm going to start really studying and watching players. I started watching a few games. I mean, I pay attention, but I haven't really been studying it and watching it.
I tell you,
I'm gonna start paying more attention to it.
It's gonna be a real tough decision as far as like, even like I agree with you as far as going small forward. That's been my thought, but just watching about three to five of the centers this year, it's almost like you might not be able to pass up on some of these guys.
Yeah.
But I really do like the European Luka Doncic.
Luka Doncic.
Yeah, he's an all around player. He does everything. He's definitely got star potential. Watching him in the Euro League going against other NBA players, and standing out. And I think he was like 18, maybe.
Yeah, he's a young guy too. Yep. Yeah. All them guys, man. All them guys are young, but they play pro ball from such a young age.
Yeah, I think he's been playing pro since 13.
Yeah,
which is crazy.
Yeah, man.
13.
Yeah, them guys start playing pro ball early.
Yep.
It's so I'm sure Steve Mills and Scott Perry, they're sitting up right now talking about where do we move from here, because up until now they've been saying that they believe in the team and they're not going to make any moves unless it helps now and it helps later. Now you would think all of their moves are going to be catered towards helping later.
There really is no help now.
Exactly.
So the immediate thing is play the youth, bring up the D-leaguers. You got to see what you have. And I mean, it's going to get ugly. We're going to have some blowouts. But you know what? We're going to get to see these guys play against the pros, play against players that's in position to make the playoffs and seeding. So they're going to be fighting for something. And this is going to be a great opportunity for the youth. And it's honestly, I look at it as a blessing in disguise in the fact that we're going to get to see what we have and evaluate who we have, and now go into the draft and go by need and best player available.
And you know what hurts me and bothers me a little bit too now, especially now. We didn't get to see a lot of KP and Frank play together. And that was something that I was looking forward to seeing, for these last 28 games. At some point, hoping that Frank was going to start and that we'd get to see them two play together. Now, assuming that KP comes back next year and is ready to play, hopefully in training camp, but probably not in training camp. Now, we've got to wait a whole, the remainder of this season, training camp next year, sometime into next year, probably October, November, before they start to really develop some chemistry. They didn't get a chance to really develop it this year, and that's Hornacek's fault, because they should have been playing together.
Here's a silver lining. Frank should get to play a lot right now, right?
He should.
From the rest of this season, KP could potentially miss early in the next season. So we're gonna get to see Frank. Frank should develop a lot more now with KP gone. So that's one potential positive. And then the fact that they didn't play together much, and the fact that KP's gonna have an adjustment period coming back anyway, it's all gonna be a learning experience together. You would assume if Frank is developed or developed any, he'll be playing more with KP once KP's coming back. So I mean, they'll all be learning together on the same page, same time, the same timeline, so to speak. So, I mean, I guess that's a silver lining in it.
Got to try to find one, right? Got to try to find some kind of silver lining in there.
I hate that they ain't play together much as well, but right about now, it's really spilled milk because like there's really no opportunity. Like the only thing we could do, like we gotta play the youth now. We gotta see what we got. It's really you can't lose now. It's a win-win because as terrible as we could possibly play, it really doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
Right.
And we'll get to see, oh, we lost by 30, but such and such had 20 and 10 or whatever the case may be. We'll get to see somebody show off what they can actually do against some good competition.
Yeah.
Some fighting competition.
Yeah. Especially you look at the games we got coming up. Toronto, we got a tough game in Toronto. I forgot who's coming up next after that, but we got a couple of tough games coming up. After the trade deadline, there really should be no reason that Frank Ntilikina isn't starting. And that, whatever happens with Billy, if Billy is here, he should be playing. If he's traded, then, but if Billy is here, he should be playing. Tomorrow should be a big day.
I hope so.
Tomorrow should be a big day.
I mean, even potential trades that were potentially off the table should actually be probably looked at a little bit differently right now. They might not have wanted to let go of Courtney Lee yesterday, but today Courtney Lee might be looking a little bit different. It might be looking a little bit beneficial to let him go, knowing it might help him in his career. Like I be feeling bad sometimes for the good guys who get stuck on the bad teams.
Courtney Lee. I like Courtney Lee. I think that he can help the team, but I think he's a good leader for the team, a good vet for the team. You need some of those good vets around. But if the team, I would understand if the team traded him, because I would understand. You know what I mean?
Especially today,
because it could help the team and it could also help Courtney Lee. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Now I see some people like Ace. You're saying we should trade all vets. I don't agree with that totally because you still need some vets around. When there's been some teams like the Wizards when they had JaVale McGee and them guys, and they didn't have any vets on the team, and young guys just ran wild and guns in the locker room and all kinds of crazy stuff. You need to have some vets around to, kind of teach these guys the ropes. You got to have some guys around. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean you got to play them, but you got to have some around.
The funny thing with KP going down right now, it like they could look potentially less to get rid of Noah now, and more to get rid of O'Quinn. You know what I mean? They could look more to get rid of Courtney Lee now, and less to get rid of a Lance Thomas. Where these guys are, Lance Thomas, for instance, is still a vet and a smaller contract, doesn't have quite the accolades or the career of a Courtney Lee. where it would be smarter to let Courtney Lee go, let him potentially win somewhere, and keep Lance as a veteran for now.
Yeah. I mean,
And,
yeah, they got some thinking to do. Hey, Tony, I'm going to let you go, man. But I know we
No
got some
doubt.
other people that want to call in. Appreciate the call. And if anything happens tomorrow, then I'll probably be on tomorrow night. You know what I'm saying? I'll be, you know, I got some things I got to do during the day. If something happens during the day, I might not be able to jump on. Or if I do, I'll jump on for like 5-10 minutes or something like that. Because I got some things going on throughout the day. But if something happens, I'll definitely be on during the night. All right? Peace out, bro.
No doubt.
Thanks for
Peace
the call.
to the chat. Yo, Black, it's time.
It's time again, always. For sure, people. The strategy has to change now, because I know the strategy was, you know, they wanted to try to pull in some players that were going to help now and for the future, or they were going to sit still. So I think that strategy definitely has to change. I think they need to make some moves. Not moves to try to get better now, but moves that are going to prepare them for the future. You know what I'm saying? I think those are the kind of moves that they need to make right now. You know, and that might be getting rid of some of the vets. You know, if it's going to net you a second round pick or free up cap space for the future. But I still do think that you need to keep some vets around, because you gotta have some vets that are going to help teach your young guys how to play ball. You know, how to be professionals in the NBA. You know, the work ethic. Keep your nutrition right. You gotta have those vets around. You know, it's important, I think, for the young guys' development to have those kind of guys around them on a daily basis. You know, and that's where guys like Courtney Lee, Jared Jack, those guys, they're good for the young. They're good for the young guys. You know what I'm saying? It's up to Jeff Hornacek who he plays. Now, the thing about Courtney Lee, you know, someone like Jared Jack, he's on a very small contract, like $2 million for the, you know, for this year. It's just a year contract for this year, so it's a small contract. Someone like Courtney Lee is like $12 million. You know, he's having a decent year. A team that's looking to win a championship may have some real interest in Courtney Lee. And you may be able to get a first-round draft pick for Courtney Lee, a late first-round draft pick, or a young player, or a couple of young players, you know, because of the amount of money that Courtney Lee makes. And he makes $12 million a year. You know, so Courtney Lee is interesting. Although Courtney Lee is a guy that you like to have, he's a vet that you like to have around. But that's an interesting prospect as far as the trade is concerned. A trade is concerned. You know, so tomorrow should definitely be an interesting day. Yeah, I'm going to be disappointed in management if the Knicks don't do something. I think something needs to be done. And I'm not saying to do something just for the heck of doing it. I think we need to do something with a strategy on getting better later. You know, Kyle Quinn, unless you believe that you're going to re-sign Kyle Quinn, there is no reason to keep Kyle Quinn here, because Kyle Quinn is going to be looking for a bigger contract that we likely are not going to give him. He's going to be looking for a bigger contract, probably a multi-year 4 or 5 year contract. And a 4 or 5 year contract takes us past 2020, and I don't think we're going to commit money to Kyle Quinn past 2020. It wouldn't make sense. Not in my opinion, it wouldn't make sense. Kyle Quinn, he's at the point in his career where this may be his biggest contract. He's gone. He's gone. I think he's gone at the end of the season. If you can get something for him now, you need to get something for him now. You know, I know a lot of people say trade Billy, but I think if you trade Kyle Quinn, you open up space for Billy to play. I think that's the better move. You trade Kyle Quinn, let Billy play. If you can get rid of Noah and bring in Bismack Biyombo and Eldred Payton, then you do it. I don't know what else goes along with that, but then maybe you do that. But then, of course, you got another logjam at center with Bismack Biyombo and Enes Kanter and Hernan Billy Gomez. But at least they're all young, 25 and under. You know, Bismack Biyombo has a crazy contract. You know, Bismack Biyombo got that contract off of one playoff run. It's crazy. Got it off of one playoff run. But hey, that's the way. That's what happens. You know, you capitalize when you can. But I think that would be a smart move for the Knicks. If you can get rid of Noah, if you do bring back Bismack Biyombo, at least you get a younger player. You know, bad money after bad money, but his contract could be a year shorter because he has an opt-out clause, is what I read. And then you'll get an Eldred Payton. Maybe you open up some room for Billy Hernan Gomez. Something needs to be done. If nothing is done, I'll be upset because that means that we didn't prepare to do something in the future. You know, either by having younger players or but by clearing salary or something like that. So something should be done. And it probably will be. You know, it probably will be. You know, so interesting day today for the Knicks. Going to be an interesting day tomorrow for the Knicks. And then after the trade deadline, you said, Sanga, you said Bismack is going to make you break the TV. He might, man. He might. But then after the trade deadline, you know, then you know, we should be getting on here and talking about the development of the kids. You know. You said, but what if there's just no good trades available? Yeah, I get what you're saying. There has to be something out there. You know, and we should have been beating the bushes and knocking down doors from the beginning of the year. But there has to be something out there. And I'm sure that there's been conversations taking place. You know, you can, even if there's a way. You know, someone like a Kyle Quinn, you know, if you really just wanted to try to get something for him, you can take a low second round pick. You know, the way that Phil Jackson did with J.R. Smith, you know, and Iman Shumpert, you know, sold them really low. You could sell them really low if it's a player like Kyle Quinn, because or else you get nothing back for him at all. Now, you know, if you're thinking about trading Billy, you don't sell him low because Billy is an asset for you that can possibly be a good player for you in the future. You know, so of course you don't sell that low. But someone like Kyle Quinn, you can sell low because you're going to lose him for nothing. That's the lowest you can get. You can sell Kyle Quinn low. At the very least, I would expect to move Kyle Quinn, you know, to get something, even if it's a very, very low second round draft pick. Get something because you never know what that draft pick can turn into. Samuel Rodriguez, you said we're going to have 4 point guards if we acquire Payton. We will. We'll have 4 point guards. Something will happen if we acquire Payton. Something will happen. Something else will have to happen. Somebody else will be moved, or Jarrett Jack will be waived, or Jarrett Jack just won't play. You know, something like that. You know, I couldn't see them acquiring Eldred Payton without giving up Frank, and playing everyone. You know, somebody would not play or would be waived, and I think that would end up being Jarrett Jack. You know, so interesting things going on with the New York Knicks. Very, very interesting things. You know, and it's funny, just that quick. Let's put it like this. The Knicks could have been 500, and if KP went down, most everyone would have said that's the season. that quick. It can happen that quick. That quick, your season can end, your career can end. And this is the reason why I get into arguments with people a lot about it. I always say, players got to get your money when you can. You get your money when you can, because you don't know when an injury can happen. You don't know. You get your money when you can. You know what I'm saying? You get your money when you can. You know, people argue about players and say, oh, players, they should have taken less so that the team can build and those type of things. I don't agree with that. If that's what the player wants to do, that's fine. I'm okay with that. But I don't agree that a player has to or should do it. I think a player, because players are independent contractors, they got to make their money when they can. You get your money when you can. When you're at your high point, you go when you get your money. That's the reason why Kylo Quinn, looking at KP's injury, he's opting out. He's going to get his money. You know what I'm saying? He's like, yo, my season can end just like that. He's going to get his money. You best believe it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so players got to get their money. That's why I never argue with it, never get mad with it. I didn't get mad. You know, people say, well, Melo should have waited before he traded. You know, he forced the trade to the Knicks. He should have waited until free agency. So then that way the Knicks didn't have to give up all of their assets. I disagree with that too. You know what I'm saying? I disagree with that too. Melo did the right thing for him in that situation, because we were heading to a lockout. They didn't know what was going to happen with contracts after the lockout. So Melo wanted to get his guaranteed contract, his guaranteed extension or whatever it was, before the lockout. So his money was guaranteed before the lockout. That was a smart move on his part. And I never faulted him for that, even though a lot of people did. But, you know, the players got to get their money. You go when you get your money. Because injuries, trades, whatever it is, can happen at any time. You know. But I just seen someone ask, do I think Frank starts? Listening to Jeff Hornacek, I don't know. You know, Jeff Hornacek, and part of it is right. You know, he says, you know, he is part of, you know, you don't just throw a player out there and say, here, you're the starter. Because that can hurt a player's development too. You know, by just throwing them out, because now they feel entitled. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you got to let them earn their stripes. And you know, what Hornacek said is that, you know, he doesn't want to just throw them out there. They're building a culture of making you earn what you get. And I respect that. But I do believe it is time. There comes a certain point where you know your season is done. Now it's just time to say, okay, you know what? We've been throughout the season. The season is done. Let's let the young guys develop. And the older guys respect it and understand it. This is it. This is the time. Do I think Frank starts on Thursday? Probably not, knowing Jeff Hornacek. But I guess that may depend on what happens from now until Thursday and what the Knicks decide to do with the team and which direction they decide to go. You know, I think that'll decide some things. Yeah. 10 minutes. Yeah, kid, baby, played 10 minutes, but I think that was mainly due to his I think that's mainly due to, you know, his knee. He had a bruised knee or something like that. You know. Billy Hernan Gomez sends out a tweet about KP. Says, "This is so hard. You are my best friend. We have been together almost every day for 5 years, but I know you will be back stronger and better than ever. I love you, bro." That's Billy Hernan Gomez to KP. Got to be hard for him. That's his buddy. That's his best friend. Yeah, I'm sure it's a dream for him to be able to play with his best friend in the NBA. Now his best friend is hurt. and he may possibly get traded from the team. So that's got to be difficult. Got to be difficult. Daniel,
Hello?
what's popping, bro?
What's popping? What's going on? Shout out to the chat.
For sure.
Yo, this is blowing my mind, man.
Yeah, it's a tough one, man. It's a tough night. Tough night
I
to be a
mean,
Knicks fan.
to be honest, like, I never wanted to. I hate wishing injury, but it sort of felt like this was coming, to be real with you, because, you know what I'm saying? KP's been getting bruised. He's been getting banged. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it just it's just like you just feel like, something is just about to happen. I just felt like, what's the worst? I was thinking to myself, I was like, yo, what's the worst thing that could possibly happen? And then tonight, it just showed that. Tonight, the Knicks got wiped off the floor. I mean, half of the players half of the team needs to be in the hospital. Like, I don't know what to say about this.
It's not much we can say, man. It's not much we can say. I'm just interested to see what their strategy is going forward.
Any questions you want to ask me that
about what to talk about? I don't know. I think we kind of exhausted it all tonight, man. For real. I think we kind of exhausted it all. What do you think the Knicks are going to do going forward?
Well, to be real with you, I mean, I think the Knicks should really look, because to be real with you, when injuries really happen, it's all about like the stress that you put on the player. You get what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that there's not a chance that KP wouldn't get hurt, but if KP had someone else that could take that stress off of him, I think he would be able to stay more healthier. But because he has to do so much, it's like,
I get what you're saying. He does have a lot that he has to do.
And big guys, you got to be very careful with big guys, because they can't, they can only do so much. You know what I'm saying? He's not like a Anthony Davis where he could be like a point guard,
Right.
He's just a guy that just, you give him his opportunity to score, he'll score, whatever he can do with the basket. Yeah. But I really think, he'll probably look at things different. Like, I think next season when KP comes back, I think you're really going to see the growth.
Yeah, hopefully.
He gets
and I get what you're saying. You're right. KP has to do a lot, and that does put a lot of stress on your body. And tonight's injury is kind of freakish a little bit. Not freakish, but Giannis kind of came underneath him, which is kind of a little bit of what caused him to, caused it to happen. Not that it's Giannis's fault. He didn't do it purposely, but that was just the way that it went down.
But it's like, it seemed like KP always been having problem with his knees. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's always a knee problem.
Well, he's got to. He's a thin guy, and I think he's gonna have to strengthen. He's gonna have to strengthen the muscles around his knees. That's what all these guys have to do. That have knee problems, and Derrick Rose had to try to do it, but of course Derrick Rose had knee problem after knee problem.
Yeah.
But KP, he's young, and hopefully he can respond. Now he doesn't. The difference though is Derrick Rose was very, very forceful, right? So he put a lot of pressure on his knees, where KP isn't as forceful. Doesn't put as much pressure on his knees. And if hopefully this year KP will be able to strengthen his body. But that's going to be a big key. He'll have almost a whole year. I'm not going to say a whole year, but he's going to have a while to strengthen his body.
When he started the season, KP was, I don't know if you recognize, he had the muscle, but I think he lost it.
Well, yeah. Well, during this season, you lose weight. You don't get as much time in the weight room, and you can't stay in the weight room as much during the season, because you got to let your body heal from all the games. Because then you're playing so much, you naturally lose weight. You lose some weight during the season, and
I could personally say the first 15 games, KP looked like an unstoppable dude. Like, it looked like literally like, yo, what are we gonna do with this guy? You know what I'm saying? And then like after he got hurt that one time, he really slowed down.
Yeah. Well, you know, hopefully he comes back stronger, man. You know, hopefully he
Yeah,
comes back stronger.
I
Hey,
think you say what you have to
no,
say.
no, go ahead, go ahead.
I think that I think management needs to look at Jeff very closely and say, okay, listen, Jeff, right now you need to play the young guys, and if Jeff doesn't play the young guys, he got to go
Yeah,
because it's not, what are you doing? You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah. And I think everything's gonna be on the table. I think everything's gonna be on the table right now with management. They're probably sitting right now in an office somewhere talking and strategizing. I would hope so.
I hope
You
they're
know,
not thinking like, oh, we're gonna make a run.
I don't think so. I think they know. If they
Yeah.
were thinking about making a run, it's because of KP.
But most of
You
the
know what I mean?
times when we see things like this happen with a lot of other teams that have young players and they have that star, this is like the best time to develop a player. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like we've seen it happen before. We've seen it where the Spurs back in the day when David Robinson he got hurt, Tim Duncan came, he developed.
Right.
Then after that, the next year they went to the finals. I
Right.
mean, so I think the Knicks right now are not in a bad position. They were not in the place to contend. So I think the Knicks just have to play smart. That's it. That's all they got to do. Play smart.
Management has to be smart. If management is smart, we'll be okay. Yeah.
Don't give up any.
Hey, Daniel. I'm gonna let you go, man, because it's late and I got to get up pretty early tomorrow. And I got some things I got to get done. I appreciate the call. And if something happens tomorrow, I'm gonna be back on tomorrow night.
All
So
right,
just look out for it. Or if something happens throughout the day, I may log on real quick to just give a shout out and talk about what's popping.
All right, man.
All right?
Thank you.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. All right, chat folks. I'm about to call it a night. It's been a tough one. It's been a tough night, but I'm about to call it one. Quickly, there's not too much really to talk about this Toronto game coming up. I don't think there's too much to talk about. We played the Raptors in Toronto, which will probably be a loss. After Toronto, I'm not even going to go into the game, guys. Not even going to go into it. I don't know if there's a reason to. At least not tonight. Not tonight. When I come back Thursday, we'll talk about the Indiana game. All right. But we play Indiana Sunday. Then we play Philadelphia Monday. So and then we play the Wizards on Wednesday. We got a couple of tough games coming up, which it's that for sure is going to bury us a little bit more, and which is all the more reason that Jeff Hornacek needs to play the young guys. Play the young guys. Play them. Get them out there. There's no reason, no purpose whatsoever to play these older guys. Are they going to get minutes? Of course they're going to get some minutes, but the young guys should be getting the bulk of the minutes. But guys, I'm out. It has been a rough night in New York Knicks land. But we're going to make it through. Let's stay positive. Let's stay strong. We're going to make it through. It's going to happen. Trust and believe it's going to happen. All right. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe. Ring the bell so that you can get a notification anytime that I'm live. Hopefully, we'll see you in the next chat. The next chat will be Thursday night after the Knicks versus Toronto. I'm usually on about 10:30, about a half an hour after the game. Check out these videos over here. You can see more post-game discussions. I'll talk to you very soon. Peace.